playing some Touch Starved. It's supposed to be a dark, not like visual novel. I don't know why like things slipping down so much. Feels like it. Oh, I have some messages. And like I don't know how to lower this, so bear with me. Oh, so is that music? I am turning the music really down. Turn that down. I mean the voice line should be fine. New game. Yes, sex. I gotta move this back over here again. Uh, Streamers and content creators should set music volume to zero in order to disable copyrighted music. This is a demo of the Touch Starve prologue and not a finished product. Thank you. Again, it is a demo. Yeah, I like that's why I turned the music down so low. Touch Starve is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content, includes, but it's not limited to horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol, drug references, injury, and dismemberment. Player discretion is advised. That's why I put the mature rating on, well, at least for TikTok stuff. But guys, if you don't want to see stuff like this, okay. If you accept the content, please click to proceed. I do. In Touch Dark, your choices matter. Decisions you make may result in a unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text, which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You might even uncover a secret ending, and remember, there's no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely, save often. Left click progress to the next dialogue. Mouse wheel rewind text. Okay, yep. Progress. Spacebar to hide UI. Spacebar again to bring it back. Everyone already knows what my first name is. I'm fine with this. Choose your pronouns. She, her. This world begins to unravel before you were born. I'm gonna hit the options because they did say the music is good, so not copyrighted. Apologize for no music, guys. I don't want copyrighted. Right before you were born. It all started with fog fall. Spectral mist fled through the seams where reality wore so thin. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possess languages and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than bloodshed. And as unrest spread and cities fell, humans cowered in fear while monsters thrived among the chaos. And then there's you. You don't know what you are, but one terrible truth is certain: you were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of those you touch. Choose your backstory. I'm gonna save this because um I may change backstory stuff up. Hi, welcome in. I just cracked my fingers. Ow. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Which one should we choose, guys? I don't know. Links for future viewers of the games that we'll be playing today are going to be in the link down below. You were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priest claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Spurred on by the mage's word, you fled in search of Cenobomia. You regularly experience unnatural prem- premotions that rattle your body and soul. An initiate's sense gives you heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presence. The exile. You were exiled to a life far from civilization. Your only kinship was with an elderly hermit who taught you how to survive in the wild. He lost his life in search of a cure for you, but left you with a final lead to pursue. You're a seasoned survivalist, well versed at this. You gained fluency in various languages and uncanny intuition for detecting danger. The alchemist. Exiled, an exiled summoned mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled. You're an experienced spellcaster. Then I think I'm going to go with the exile. I think that'd be fun. Your name is Melissa, and you select she or her. Your backstory is the exile. Is that correct? Yes. I may go another playthrough with a different background. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death and ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but honestly I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I've joined the cavern bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial itself. I can handle my hands and deflect problem questions. But sooner or later, people always suspect something strange about me. As rations grew sparse, the canteens ran dry, tensions rose, despair began to set in until I saw it. Eudora, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Cenobonium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. Remember, guys, to like and comment on the stream and video. It helps out, please. Did I click by accident? All that stands between me and my new life stretches soaked waste. I think I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it, a sound so more devastating than fire, dangerous in cities, but death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us. Snuffing out the lantern's light, the wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. No! I don't know. The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. That was loud. Holy cow. Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden. Awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strips of torn muscle, gleaming gristle and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain. So blinding. White blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes finally adjust do I see a dark shape before me. Girl, Sam, I trust an ankle too often. Oh, what the heck is that? A soulless stops over the twisted form of the caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. In that moment, I sense a gnawing hunger, an emptiness that cannot be filled no matter how much blood and flesh it consumes. Ah! Jesus. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and charges me. I'm gonna turn that down because y'all probably... Can you guys even hear this? I'm actually just hold up. Yeah, I should be on the right sound step. One second. Okay, got someone back the message. We'll leave that open for a minute. I instinctively duck to the side, and the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. A horse screams in the distance. I need to move now. If the Solus finds another victim, it won't be focused on me, at least not right away. Head to the wagon. I should say before that. Can I go back? Save. I know it's sound, guys, and I do apologize. What is my actual regular audio on? Yeah, that should be the right stuff, so you guys should be hearing fine. Hello, welcome. Welcome in. I take cover beside the wagon where the air is thick with greasy smoke. Fire eats to the gaping hall, spluttering where the lantern oil mixes to brackish water. Now, the reason I chose to go to the wagon, it has so many eyes. So many. It doesn't seem like it's a smart move to run to a city. It's going to see me. To a wagon, I can at least hide for cover for a little bit. Until hopefully it doesn't. Every person I see is dead or dying except one. O All-Mother, forgive our sins. Guide us onto your hearth. We are worthy, we are worthy. Your traveler grovels by the flames, their hands clasped above their heads in fervent prayer. I glance upwards, towards the gauzy lights of Ezra, just visible where the fog runs thinnest. I don't pray, but the sight of the city is all the reminder I need. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist of the source, but the fog fall twists and stretches. Also, my character has a hurt ankle. I don't think I'm running either, so the wagon was probably the safest bet. Suddenly, the cavern's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes met too late. I'll check stuff out later. I'm seeing notifications if someone messaged me. He knocks me to the ground and slips a patch of mud. The Solus instantly falls on him. It catches the driver by his throat and racks his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper spilling into sand and bursts in a streaming tide. Steaming tide. Fighting the urge to heave, I clawed frankly through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit! My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib, jutting up from the water. Branches unfurl around the gorge, torn deep in my hand. But the pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Someone... Hi! Help! Welcome in, everyone. Can you stand? The praying traveler leans over. We need to run. They reach for my hand and I realize too late that my bandage has come undone. No, don't touch me. The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of your hands shivered down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Their lips peel back in a deranged grin. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go. Suddenly, clammy hands crush around my throat, choking a breath. Die! Spit bubbles at the corners of their mouth and flecks of my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs shriek of air. Fight? Your nails gouge deep in Travis' wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die. I'm not because of fog full of souls, but because of my curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 not here. Not like this. But then their hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. Because if I shouted, the monster would came, and no guarantee if it would just gotten him or both of us. Welcome in, welcome in. My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over, the claws hooked through their stomach. The soulless shoves the body aside, its glowing eyes narrow, though grinning. There's a flash of claws, red spills across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of slit filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. I spot an arm resting among the auto crop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold and alone in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrous like me. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone and the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror. Nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But I take a reflective breath, reflexive breath, and air spurts into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface underneath, a strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. I twist my head towards the voice. Tears flooded my blurry eyes at the bright glow of a lamplight. Try not to move. Welcome in. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out as little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No? Who the hell is this? I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. Ah, a stubborn patient. I don't have the strength or dignity that was once said. I pull the sheet up higher to wipe my eyes until my vision clears. Hello, doctor! The stranger towers over my prone form, worm-like lines his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I realize that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen shit! Naked lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet. Though it's too late, he must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhumane. I brace myself for the inevitable disgust, but this courteous smile lingers. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings.
Where am I? Who are you?
Be calm, you are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I suppose that old hermit protected me as best as he could, but that time was short-lived, a lonely reprieve shattered by his death. I never felt safe anywhere or with anyone since. A scowl pulling the sheets protectively around me.
Where where were my clothes?
The man's golden eyes narrowed slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you're not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. With a soft creak, he rises from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings.
Also, don't forget to leave likes, guys. It helps.
This looks like a medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemy concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke, and something distinctly metallic. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot, easily a head taller than most, and and I have to crane my neck to look at him. Thank you, I say. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Thank you. You are welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. With a curt nod, he leaves through the narrow door. I thought there was voice acting in this. I guess. Did I put the... Hold up. Did I put the voices too low? No, they're all the way up. Man. I hear a soft click as the turns behind him. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes, and an itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absentmindedly to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. The beast took my arm clean off, and yet the limb shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin, gingerly flexing my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. Oh god, I'm choking. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the placement dream to unravel, to wake up and find myself bleeding out in that swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I grab a replacement cloth and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, bundled with black woolen cloak. But there are one thing still missing, my bandages. The doctor didn't leave me with any, though I know he has, though I know he saw my hands. I slid off the bed and take a few unsteady steps toward the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump against the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move towards me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars, melted skin disappear under the layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I can help you if you tell me what ails you. I doubt it. Traveling to Edera was a gamble born of desperation rather than hope. Nothing has come close to curing my cures. And yet my left arm twitches, the arm that was severed before my very eyes. The doctor's unblinking gaze follows my every move. It's clear he won't drop this without some sort of answer. The bandages protect me. They warn others to stay away. I've tried every way to cover my hands, and this works best. Most people avoid touching me as soon as they see the bandages. An illness, then, or a less mundane affliction spread by contact. I flinch. He doesn't even sound surprised, and that's far too close to the truth for comfort. Well, it's personal and I don't really want to get into it. I have treated every affliction under the sun. I may have answers that you do not. An inventory sto- an, inven- an involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he believe me if I told him? I shake my head. I need to know more about this doctor before he figures me out. Who are you? You may call me Curus. And where exactly am I? Edera, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I could think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Eridia? So I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increase in unease. How did I end up here? I brought you here to my clinic, of course. You're the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child, and he explained basic addition to me. I frown and flex my fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, healing such mortal wounds should be impossible. Either this man is lying or in possession of power beyond that of mortals. Neither option is particularly comforting to me. The Dr. Croas pinched the bridge of his nose. He sat back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you came from, but Irida is the city of knowledge, and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and one should not give or receive it freely. Since you refuse to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. You are new to Irida, so I will overlook the specific breach of etiquette, but do not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He glances at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I'm a complete stranger to him, yet he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Melissa. My name is Melissa. It is a pleasure to meet. It is a pleasure to meet you, Melissa. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Who is messaging me? There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Thank you for saving my life. I chance a small smile in return, even though he won't explain how he did. The impossible, there's no doubt in my mind I'd be dead if it wasn't for Curus. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Curus. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what price Curse might demand for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across such a fascinating patient. Welcome in, everyone. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that if you would cling to life so resolutely, or brave such a perilous journey to Irida, I could not help being curious about you, Melissa. His voice dips to a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggled my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and leaving you destitute in a strange place would be unethical. I fell silent, unsure of what to say. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. Has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent, and Curtis let out a tired sigh. Please wait. Though he says it quietly, the calmer on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Melissa? Oh, between the soulless attack and my miraculous... I'd almost forgotten why I came to here in the first place. I need directions to Cinnabonium. The Cinnabonium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses to choose his words with a cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek there is unlikely you will find it there. Gates open for precious few visitors, and even if they open for you, you would not likely what you found inside. My heart sinks. If he's saying that I came all this way for nothing, risk life and limb for nothing, no, that can't be. I've only just arrived in Air's largest city, still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then, if not, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Irida? I shake my head. Then I suggest the local guild. Then I suggest a local guide. And ask Leander, the leader of the Outer Stone. Excuse me, the wet what? The wet wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the Understone postings. They're difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. One moment. I'm just taking a sec, guys. I just need a minute to drink something real quick for a moment. I'm speaking all this, and I've done voices and stuff before, and it always makes my nose clog up. And of course, dry my mouth out. When you meet... Okay. That isn't much to go on, but Curtis points towards the back door. You'll be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he is smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice, resigned to my dismissal, and slip out the back door. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of empty chamber pots. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets, my coin purse. Every last coin that I had scraped together for the journey of her is still inside. The purse doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed doors. Curtis didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that secrets are powerful. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Curtis gave me a second chance and led on where I might find help. I better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside Curtis's clinic stretches down the road. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is their desperate need of free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherous, rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Eldra was a river city, but I didn't expect to look this so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. A child starts. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over to me, and my stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh, not too many eyeballs today. Fog mutated catches are always a gamble, but beggars can't be choosers. I duck under the stall's scrubby awning. A large fish leers up to me. Its three bulging eyes were still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points to the metal basket that looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh long lads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, carrying them gingerly. At this rate, I may not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. Or it sounds like me in real life. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The building in the quarter are a dazzling riot of color, painted walls, tinted glass everywhere I look. Sure red and pink curtains flutter in open doors, musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Eldora's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger like an earring, and the words say, "The Art of Stone" printed above the head. If Lunder is the leader of the Art of Stone, then the face printed on this poster is likely his. I follow the line, identical poster corners, nearly hit my head on precious dangling wooden sign, looking up faded orange letters, the Wet Wick. The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. My nose is physically clogging up so bad. It's not even midday yet, and the wit is packed. A loose collection of Edwin's crowded bar takes up tables and gathering in spaces between. They speak amongst each other in hushed voices, their faces drawn and grave. Seeing so many bodies packed into such a small, dim place is disconcerting. All the more reason to find Lunder quickly. A curious glance does turn up around the dagger-shaped earring, and considering searching the bar when loud voices carry across the room. No, I'm no procurator. Okay, I've got to turn that down. Because that's loud as shit. Now, I'm no procurator. I'm not much for paperwork or pencil pushing. And honestly, I don't even think those robes come in my size. I cram my neck, but the crowd's too dense for me to see the speaker. Gather around, I want to show you all something. Oh. There's no time to move out of the way. The audience surges towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. I'm caught and swept along with them. Hey! The clatter of falling chairs and tables being shoved aside drowns out my complaints. I thrash and throw my elbows as heavy bodies press into mine. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding tight to steady myself, but the crowd has styled. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Oh, damn. If you want nothing but guidelines, impractical policies, and needless bureaucracy, you know where to go. I drag my eyes upward. Ooh, hot. A mane towers on the table in front of me, arms spread as he addresses his rapt audience. But I'm not going to wait for a word from on high. He emphasizes words provoke nods and excited whispers. Is this an auto button? Unlike those clerks, I don't need absence approval to cast a spell or two. As he raises his hands above the audience, the dagger-shaped earrings tangle from his left ear, catches the light in flashing gold. It seems I found Lunder. These are our streets. We make our own luck here. He snaps and flashes. The pale green light erupts from his hand.
He's. Oh. With a flick of his wrist, Lender conjures a ribbon of glittering light. A delicate. A delicate flower stem sprouts between his pinched fingers. Oh, blah. Lender raises the flower with a flourish, and the bar bursts into clapping cheers. A magic demonstration was the last thing I expected from a place called the Wet Wick. Yeah, I would too. Lender plucks the shimmering flowers out of the air and turns it to a slow circle. Now who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table, but Lender's cool green eyes slide right over them and lock on me instead. Oh God. Oh God. How about you? My chest grows tight. Suddenly I'm in the spotlight. I need some luck after all this crap. I reach out and take the flowers from him, all too aware of my trembling fingers. There's no weight to them, only faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the lilies in Lender's hand, they dim and they fade away into a shameless flight. To my surprise, Lender laughs under his breath. What? That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. Lender steps off the table, dropping among the excited crowd with a clink. All right, show's over. Back to work, everyone. The audience disperses, and Lender heads towards the bar. Now's my chance. I start after him, only to find myself face to face with one of his followers. Where do you think you're going? I need to talk to Lender. Uh-huh, and you don't have to go out of town. Lender's busy right now. Anderson's business. Come back tonight. After the moment we shared, surely Lender can spare a word. But the follower crosses her arms, unmoved. I glance over her shoulder, hoping to catch a glimpse of Lender. As though sensing my gaze, he looks up, and for a moment our eyes lock. Then Lender turns away to murmur something to the group gathered around him. The follower moves to block my view. You hear me? I'm not looking for trouble. This Dr. Cruz said I should find Lender. That's... She's interrupted by a hand resting on her shoulder. Cruz sent you? He said you could help me. Lender nods at the woman and she steps aside wordlessly. I think she's a jealous bitch, I'm saying. Follow me. He leads me to the crowded bar. There's so little room that his broad shoulders press against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Sorry about that. The Andersons watch out for one another, but they can be overprotective at times. Lesson learned. Lender flashes me a broad grin. You're new to Edera, right, aren't you? He says it with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I'd remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. My eyes drop to a polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What'll it be? Surprise me. Add anything my friend wants to my tab. Water's good. Because I have questions, I shouldn't get drunk. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Lender leans on his elbows on the counter. His sleeves wind up a little, revealing long, raised scar. I catch myself following its winding path across his forearm. Lander's eye wander over to me in return. When they lock onto my bandaged hands, a bitter taste rises in my throat. Here come the questions. Is there any chance Curtis sent you here for cheap drinks or barely edible appetizers? No. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, sighing, when it immediately falls back in place. That's the doctor for you. Always business. I'm not sure he knows how to relax. The bartender pushes a pair of glasses our way. I didn't realize how thirsty I am until the cool water touches my lips. Beside me, Lender takes a deep swig of his glass. So how can I help you? I need to get to the Cinnabon. As soon as the word leaves my mouth, the group standing nearby falls silent. From the weary looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some taboo. Yeah, I usually not to talk about it. It had to be Cinnabon. Lender pushes away from the counter. Let's continue this conversation outside. I rise to follow him. Lender leads me into an alleyway tucked behind wet wick layers upon layers of frayed and faded art and poster plasters the walls. Seeing them side by side resembles between Lander and his printed likeness is impressive if abstract. Curtis didn't send you here to ask for a personal escort to Selma, did he? From his tone, he already knows the answer. No, he suggested I reconsider. Yet here you are asking about a guide anyway. He looks at me expectantly. I don't want to tell him about my curse. I would, because this would make some of this. The less people know about my monstrous upkeep, the better. Thankfully, Lender takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Are you aware of Edra's particular currency? Information's worth its weight in gold here? I don't much care for outdated traditions, so I'll completely be honest. The Cinnabon won't help you. It's more likely to torture you and then lend you a hand. But the Cinnabon's supposed to be the place of learning, a sanctuary. The Cinnabon has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in the fading world. If any place held answers, it would be the Cinnabon. Lender nods patiently. You're not the first person to fall for the propaganda. I grew up idolizing the Cinnabon. I wanted nothing more than to join their ranks, to learn magic from the best, to make a real difference. I was young and blinded by the legends and legacy. I was so damn naive. He shakes his head. And also, sorry, I was doing voices, but my nose is clogging up bad, guys. All it took was one trip here to Lowtown to show me the truth. Unless you've got a heavy purse on high-born blood, the Cinnabon doesn't give you... Dang it. They'll never open their gates for the ones who need help the most. Then it's all a lie. Things that seem too good to be true are often just that. So it's a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. Lander watches me as though weighing something in his mind. But that doesn't mean you're hopeless. Far from it. I founded the Anderson to help people like you. We settle disputes, slay feral soulless. Hell, we've been known to play catch leaky roof or two. Whatever troubles you, we can help, free of charge. I'm shaking my head before he even finished his speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my charge, Lander doesn't look remotely surprised. Then you're looking to help for help, something serious, something not even Curtis could crack. It must be truly remarkable problem if you came all the way to Irida searching for help. Tell me, how can I help you? Lander may not work for the ceremony, but he is a mage, a powerful one. If his demonstration was any indication. Indecision gnaws on me. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this might be the only path forward. My confession comes out in a strained whisper. I'm cursed. He looks me up and down, taking my face and my eyes, finally my hands. Is that why you bandaged your hands? My touch is dangerous. It changes people. It hurts them. Before I even finish, Lender pulls his left glove off. He flexes his fingers and grins. All right, let's see it. As he offers me his hand, a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm, but I'm already shrinking backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Lender is, I won't allow myself to hurt him, to see his kind of face unrecognizable and warped. I don't want to hurt you. I'll be fine, trust me. I've seen enough curses and hexes to last me 2 lifetimes, but I'm still standing. Do you really think Curse would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm twice as good as any Saturn mage. If everyone can help you, it's me. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. I look from Lender's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Then I begin unwrapping my branches from my hand. If I lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. His attempt to levity does little to comfort me. With each joint I expose, I grow increasingly certain that this is a terrible idea, but if he's bothered by how much my hand looks, he doesn't show it. Alright, deep breath, on my count. My fingers hover shakily over Lender's palm. 3, 2, 1. Touch him, because he's offering help. I tap his palm once, as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. Heart racing, my eyes dart to his face. Lander only smiles gently. See? It can't be. When I reach for his palm again, Lander catches my wrist before I can pull back. I told you there's really nothing to worry about. He trails off with my thumb grazes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face to traces of madness, but his eyes remain clear and soft green. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of his palm, lost in awareness I wasn't anticipating. It's not as though I've never been touched before. My curse only extends to my hands, and desperation spurs creativity. But all that pales in comparison to this. I've never experienced such intimacy. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail. The grooves along his palms, the smooth shell of his nails, the bones in his wrists. For as long as I lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand without dire consequences. I've never realized what I was missing. While Lender's pulse is steady, mine hammers as fear gives way to excitement. Keep touching him. My hand glides over Lender's wrist and up his arm, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to raised scar. It matches the ones from his collar. Could it be the same wound? When I glance at Lender's face, his lips part as he considers his words. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? my hands go still on his arm. So far, then it's then is this everything you wanted? When I nod, Lunder turns my hand to his to inspect the gleaming fish ears crisscrossing my knuckles. There's no revulsion in his face, no fear. He looks up at me and grins. Aw, it's not every day I meet someone so enticing as gold. I was going to play another game after this, guys, but it's probably going to be this. He winks and lets me go. I draw my hands back and take a steady breath. My head feels like it's stuffed with cotton. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hands, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. I've really forgotten my manners. May I ask your name? I'm Melissa. Melissa, this curse of yours is unlike anything I've ever seen before. I can tell you're careful, but it's best you kept this between us. Are you staying in Lowtown? I paused. Room and board was something I'd yet consider. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. The Wick is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of the Lunder followers have dispersed, or in a few cases fallen asleep besides their drinks. Got any rooms left, or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who now realizes doubles in Kiever, slides a key onto the counter. The usual room? Lender's laugh sounds slightly strained. No, not today. This is for just for my friend Melissa. Right, stay as long as you like. You two have fun. Have fun? What type of reputation do you have? Lender clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing, my treat, since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, anything you need? Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small but heavy in my palms. I never expected to have a warm bed in Irida, let alone 3 meals. The thought of the entire room to myself seems unbelievably luxurious. Thank you. Irida's twice as dangerous as it's wondrous. Be careful out there. And if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into my pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Lender gives me a friendly wave before returning to the bar. Dusk glitters in the sparse rays of illuminating the room. The furniture is tired and the walls cracked, and large lumpy bed serves as the centerpiece. I can't remember the last time I slept in a bed, and I never imagined I'd sleep in one tonight. When I collapsed onto the bed, the springs let out a shrill squeak. Finally, I can allow myself to rest. My eyes fall shut before long. I wake to pale sunlight glittering in the room through the narrow windows. Oh, the auto's not on. What? Despite the calm air of the tavern below, the precious hours of rest have restored my strength and gifted me a flicker of cautious optimism. Welcome in, everyone. If I play my cards right today, I could be the day I get closer to finding a cure. I quickly head out of the wet wick. The air clings, sudden and heavy, with the lingering scent of rain. Without the afternoon crowd, the district looks barren and bleak. In the middle of the street, a pair of crows quibble over stale bread crusts. I pause, watching them as I consider my next move. Kuras and the lender both made it clear that the Sunbone can't be trusted, but I came so far to endure so much to give up now. I need to see the Cerebrum for myself. If only satisfy my curiosity, surely someone in the bar can point me in the right direction. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me. Oh boy. A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. The shadow trickles down. The street rivets, formless dark spreads like ink into the blotted shapes. Oh god. Claws stretched, muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep I feel it in my chest. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped as though the slightest movement or breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to look at got me first. I seal myself, then turn. The shadow vanishes quickly as it came, and I am left standing in the middle of the street alone, save for the figure reclining to the shade of a nearby stoop. I can't pronounce. But oh god. Ooh, cutie. A monster that much clear glance once could nearly be mistaken as human were it not for his turfed ears and tail curl, or the dust pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. We lock gazes and the monster uncrosses his long legs. His hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me unsettling of blood where the curls around his collared throat. God, I'm running out of air in my nose. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree. I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and regards me as the inscrutable grin. Did you see the shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. The only beasts I've seen are the Wick's ruling regulars, though this did catch my eye. With a flicker of his wrist, my ink key dangles from his finger. It turns on its chain, glittering when it catches the light. My hands fly to my cloak's pocket, sure enough to find them flat. He crooks his finger, beckoning. Dude. I've already taken 2 steps forward. Some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels wrong. I'm still on edge, throwing much adrenaline when stranger's shadow flickers to the edges of my vision. I always seem to attract the worst kind of attention, but I can't get rattled now. My key, how'd you find it? Try to play it off. What can I say? I'm a sucker for shiny things. He smiles wide enough to reveal sharp fangs. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. City like this, somebody might take advantage. A bald-faced lie said without a hint of irony. As I approach the monster, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. Oh, his ears move. The stranger's chain softly clicks with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Keeping your distance. Until I know what you're capable of. You think I stole you dinky little key from all the way over here? He gives an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? Yes, you do. He's got me there. I misread what I said. I was checking if I got message again. The sheer fabric of the sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one thing. I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyway. Luckily for you, I don't charge. Oh, okay. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang. And for the first time since I stepped into that shadow, I feel something other than dread. My face grows hot. I didn't mean to assume. I'm flattered, really. Did you think you could pay to pet my ears? I just need my key back. Ask nicely, and I might even let you tug my tail. Tail! Just throw it here. So some spindly little street urchin can snatch it and run? He raises my key and tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. No! Give me my key back, dude! No, not that I'd caught dead slumping in the rick with the rest of those sockjaw imbeciles. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler. What misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision. I'm not telling you anything. What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pig pen, I wonder? He listily watches the arc of my key swinging around his finger. The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe, unless... Dagger-shaped, sharp eyes flicker toward me, the gleam bright with amusement. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. By now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving shimmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I have ever endured. Play along. How'd you know that I spent all my money, starved, and nearly died in a swamp, just so I could crawl into bed with the first thirsty monster I met? This earns me a burst of breathy laughter. He gazes at me under his dark lashes. Aren't you funny? Could you be more obvious? I have been told subtly is not my strength. So your place or mine? I'd invite you if I had my key. If only I had my key, I might be able to invite you up. His slangy gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Take my hand and we'll go together. Fuck. The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely laugh. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me. But I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack me or bite. I won't bite hard unless you beg. No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into in an innuendo. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. Their luteus is utterly sweet. It's sweet. There's a life in the dreadful place, and if you know where to look. You sound like you know the city well. The monster's gaze flickers from me to the key, hanging from his finger. Naturally, this dump was little more than a miserable little smear on the map when I first arrived. Hightown, Lowtown, I know Yurda like the back of my hand. What about the Cirebon? Do you know where that is? His smile vanishes. Girl, stop talking about it. Surely you've seen it. That absurdly large tower looming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. You must mean that spire I noticed when I first caught sight of Irida. The Cirebon's overrated. Forget about it. I can show you things those stuffy Boris and the limp dick tower couldn't even dream of. Can you take my curse? What do you say? How about the two of us have a little adventure? I've already got plans. Oh, have you suppressing masks at some of the lunch dates with librarians? Tea time with the most esteemed abysses. That's my business. What's the matter to you? I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. I'm going to take a minute, guys. Give me like 2 minutes. Oh, my nose. Because I'm trying to do like accents with the voices for the guys to try to at least make it sound better. Because I know it's like pretty quiet. There's like no sounds and stuff besides like the occasional things. Which actually, let me see if I can find something. Okay, I have to be able to lower this. Okay, I'll make sure to put that. I'm gonna be using their music, so I gotta put this in the comments of it. And just because it's for over here too. Hey, why can I comment on my own stream? I would love to put this in my TikTok stream, but I can't. I can't comment that. Is it too much? Probably is too much. I'll make sure to put that up. I scrape my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. Also, the song, guys, is Mortal Funk Remix by no copyright sounds and stuff. Like links are like in chats and stuff. I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of them. I'm gonna turn that down just a bit more. This is gonna be on repeat, so I do apologize. There we go. That should be fine. Your loss. The stranger, finally bored of his own traitorous game, extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. When he makes no other move, I reach for my key, but as soon as my fingers graze smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my elbow. Hey! He yanks me down and I stagger, my shoe slipping on the steps. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but is carefully not disturb them even if he grips my arm. I knew I smelled blood. You reek of the road and death. And that fucking doctor. Oh, I didn't leave that back in my chat. Welcome in. His voice, once silken, lowers on the smoothly growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil. Favorite streamer is streaming. I'm probably gonna be late to joining that. That's fine. His voice. I said that. And something else. Actually, let me do something real quick. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes at me. Let go! Just when I fear he'll bite, his grips loosens and his eyes widen with awe. It seems that I underestimated you. You're fair. The stranger's ears fly and releases me with short breath. I yank my arm back, massaging my bandages. He twists around to see a woman duck out from the curtains behind him. From the look of it, her pressed white uniform, I'm almost certain she's a clerk of this. I leave you for what, 10 minutes and you're making trouble again? Will you quit harassing tourists? I'll take it, rolls his eyes, flashes the cleric. So suspicious, can't you see that that this is a friend of mine? A natural liar, he grins at me and his tail swishes coyly. The woman pursues her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I open my mouth to correct him, but Vera cuts in. I could actually offer my dear friend some free advice. Though his voice remains silent, light and cheerful, his expression darkens. Danger's drawn to you. Like dangerous drawn to your mouth, I always find giving you. The woman cluckers her tongue. She heard the recital 102 times. Word to wise, don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in streets. This crook will sell water to a drowning man for sheer enjoyment of it. She shrugs off a wilting look from Veer. Oh, please. Any friend of yours knows it's true. Now hold still. Veers gracefully as her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it drapes over his shoulder, exposing the long line on his neck. And suddenly it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from his harness. It was the heavy chain around his hitching spot and padlocked to the back of his collar. The woman produces a crowd key ring pocket. She rifles through a dozen identical keys before selecting one and sliding into the lock. Come on, unless your friend's tagging along on our merry little soulless hunt. They're hunting inside the city? That soulless and the wasted seem ravenous. I'd rather not run into another one like it. No, thank you. The cleric regards me with a polite if tight smile before marching down the stairs. Veer lingers. He stretches his arms over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arches his back. Welcome. You little secret safe with me. Try not to kill yourself. Is that Muzan again? Muzan, I've told you before. I don't know where Tanjiro is, man. He hasn't been by my side recently. And if everyone wonders, as a TikToker, he messaged me on stream asking where, and I'm making a bit if I see him in my stream, guys. Veer hop. Did you try that thing I mentioned? The Loventh Knot? That the one where you take 3 fingers and actually don't tell me, knowing you, it's probably disgusting. Varys' airy laugh echoes down the street. It's only after he and the cleric have vanished from sight have you realized I'm still missing something. Wait! Reflectively, I shove my hands into my pockets and find it. The room key. I ease at the key in my pocket, smoothing my thumb over the jagged teeth as I try to recall a touch, a tell, or any hint of your sleight of hands, but I can't figure out how he did it. All I know certain is that the Cinnabon saw fit to leash him, a fate I could share if that's what the vague warning meant. I let my eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns, gently swaying in the breeze, to the Cinnabon faintly visible through the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need, and then I can put this all behind me. Curly. This time, the key goes into my coin purse for safekeeping. It's easy enough to follow the winding streets climbing uphill toward the distant tower. Take a second. Just give me a moment, guys. Just take a few minutes because I have barely been like breathing properly while doing this whole stream. Hours later, legs aching, sweat beading on my forehead, and I finally find what I'm searching for. The cinema, the luminous void. The luminous void. It stands at the highest point of Eridra, surrounded by cold white walls. Well-dressed people stroll down the walkways, ignoring the massive tower in their midst. I'm the only one standing before the gates. I crane my neck up until the top of the cinema spires disappear into the clouds overhead. I frown up at the gates, wondering what secrets wait on the other side. Despite their delicate beauty, there must be more to them than what meets the eye. Knocking seems like a terrible idea, but I don't see another way of making my presence known. I'm halfway up the steps when something moves in my peripheral vision. A shadowy figure crouches beneath one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine, as if testing its strength. Oi, you there! The shadow vanishes as quickly as I spotted it, and the gaunt-faced man marches up and steps toward me. Oh, another tourist. Get out of here once you're done garking. A dismissive wave accompanies says equal dismissive words, and he turns without even waiting for my response. I look back at where I saw the intruder, but there is nothing, just the leaves blowing gently in the cool breeze. I step away from the gates, hopelessness washing over me. Hello? A whisper coats the back of my ear, hot and syrupy. Ooh. I jerked away, but to find no one beside me. Instead, halfway down the staircase, I spot a girl peering up at me. She's barefoot, draped in several layers of worn, moth-eaten clothes. Peculiar metal jewelry hangs around her face and jingles with each light movement. Her eyes are a most striking feature. They shine a scorching, unnatural crimson. It feels like staring into the sun, and yet strangely captivated by her. She tilts her head and tinkling the metal riding the wind. Do you need help? I do. I'm unsure how to respond. They are charged with their energy, as each of my words is worth its weight in gold. Welcome. On the off chance she can help me, I might as well be somewhat truthful. I do, but wanting it is another question. The giggle she makes his chiming, fluttering sound. You're honest. I like that. She dips into a polite curtsy. My name is Iris. I like you once. I was like you once, hopeless and alone. The ones in the tower won't help you with your pain. I might be able to, though. I try not to dwell on the fact that I recognize desperate, instead of focus on her vague offer. I descend the steps. You don't know what I'm looking for. You need what everyone needs in this world, a miracle. Iris turns, and my thoughts abrupt scatter. Pitted skin snakes down her shoulders, bleeding over gaping holes in her back and shoulder. A shuddering breath escapes me. The fuck? Whatever disease she had consumed her from the inside out. How is she able to move or breathe? Is it possible? She shouldn't be alive, and yet... I only get a glimpse before she faces me once more, this time looking a bit bashful. I know it's not pretty, but that's not what matters. The sea spring can cure anything. It can cure you too. Her shining eyes flicker to my bandaged hands, then up again, so quick I nearly missed it. I stand there wordless. It's a twisted miracle, but a miracle nonetheless. She extends her hand out to me, her delicate fingers outstretched. I could take you there if you'd like. You can decide on your own when you see it. Her hands are frail, married with tiny wounds. It's an empty of vulnerability, complete opposite of the sandbar mocking impenetrable gates. And if I say no? It's your choice. The truth is, I don't have much of a choice. Not right now, at least. I wonder if Iris knows somehow. If there's any hope finding a cure, I need to follow every lead, including seeing the sea spring for myself. Take her hand. I don't have a choice. Oh yes, it's picking up the music, right? Yeah, okay. I cautiously slide my hand into hers. Her skin is ice cold through my bandages. We descend from the higher streets, abandoning from their gilded descents. As we cross the river, the wet However, Iris leads me farther still, until I met with an all too familiar sight. My gut lurches when I face the open horizon. The sea spring is straight ahead. Irid's outskirts are hardly recognizable in daylight, but venturing beyond city walls is a gamble I wasn't prepared to take so soon. I shake my head and pull away from Iris. I'm not leaving the city. She circles in front of me with a placating gesture. Don't be scared. I promise you it's all right. You say that, but you've never been there either. You're safe inside the city, as outside of it. And the stretch before you is the safest of all. She cast a wistful gaze over the waste as if admiring something beyond the vista. The region belongs to Aes. Some call him a gang leader, but he's much more than that. It's difficult to string my thoughts together. Only a fool would leave the city, but a primal instinct tells me that Iris isn't lying. She twirls around with another curtsy, jewelry twinkling playfully in the sunlight. Her doe eyes soften. As I said, I thank your choice. Thank you for coming this far. Just taking a couple minutes, guys, because I am having to breathe in between these, and whoo, am I getting lightheaded from all the talking? I hope we meet again, Melissa. I blink and she's gone. Confusion grips me as I look around, searching for any trace of her. The hell? But I'm completely alone, with only the vast nothingness of the wastes for company. Did I just imagine everything? I don't know, girl. Did you have you eaten today? No, that whole encounter was real again. The primal instinct insists it is, just like I insisted on Iris's honesty. The sea spring is straight ahead. If I manage to cure Iris, I need to see what it can do for me. I venture forth, nerves, determination whirling together in my chest. My heart pounds with each step I take from civilization. For it seems like an eternity, I force each foot forward, one step then another, until a realization hits me. I never told Iris my name. Something pierces the horizon ahead of me, a building nestled in the tall cliffside. It appears so starkly out of place that it might as well be a hallucination, dripping with extravagance and adorned in honeyed mahogany. It's an oriented jewel in architecture. Dark silhouettes skirt in both sides, trees, I think, until I'm close enough to realize that I mistook the branches were spikes and jutting tendrils. Soulless, several of them watch me, in a distance like statues. Flashes of last night chase me, the gushes of blood and screams of death, smell of burning flesh, a soil bile. I can't go through that again. I won't. Exploding into a messy sprint, I sprint my legs as fast as they can take me toward the decorated building. The next thing I know, I'm dashing up wooden stairs and crashing through towering double doors. My lungs burn from exertion. I gasp for breath, desperate to be safe, but when I orient myself with my surroundings... Got my breathing. It's more hellscape than sanctuary. Blood flows all around me, overwhelming my vision with a lurid unholy red. Instinctively, my hand leaps to my mouth. But the raw stench of blood never comes. Instead, a smoky scent hangs in the air, sharp and spiced. I swallow thickly, convincing myself that it's not as gruesome as it appears, and that it's to be the sea spring that grants miracles. Tall pillars flank me, blanketed in written notes. Seating pillows scatter the floor. A rustic kettle sits nearby. Someone must live here, despite how eerily empty it is. Is anyone here? My voice echoes across the cavern without response. I approach the paper covered pillars. Maybe something here can tell me more. I reach for. I reach for the note that's higher up. It reads, "No one will read this, but it's not for anyone else. This is evidence I existed in this raw and grim world. Even so, I wish I could have stayed longer. The bog girl will be lonely without me. I should have told her how I..." The rest is scratched out. I wonder who wrote this. Before I can ponder it further, a sharp chill runs down my spine. Something's watching me. I quickly set the note back, my eyes darting around the wooden deck, but it's still empty. Finally, I look forward. The sea spring stillness hides something deeper, something wrong. Hey! I spin around and come face to face with a pack of soulless. They chitter and growl, tendrils and spikes flaring threateningly, all different sizes and species, but sharing one identical trait, glowing crimson eyes. I try to back away, but feel my heels teeter over the sea spring. I'm cornered. Watch your steps, it's deeper than it looks. The voice again, and it sounds of it, the soulless freeze, their snarls quieting. I search for the voice of source to find it above me, lounging in the rafters. You look lost, little sparrow. His gaze is violent crimson, one that sears through me, leaves me feeling raw and exposed. Guys, you know how I am about demon boys. The same eyes I've seen over and over, first with Iris, now with the soulless circling me, all bound by sea spring blood red. In a shroud behind him shapes the massive tentacles, twisting coil around the wooden beams. I can't focus, the soulless growling ring in my ears. They're not advancing, but that could change at any second. Panic rises in my throat. I struggle to track them. Hey! Eyes on me. My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the soulless. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. For a moment, anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? I'm distracted. I'm kind of distracted by the soulless about to maul me. Only on my command. I guess they really aren't attacking, and they're posturing more than anything else. You tame them? Power of the sea spring. They're hungry, so they might bite. You could give me a reason to stop them. How about I didn't do anything wrong? Trespassing. And that's punishable by death? He gives a non-commental shrug. I called out earlier to see if anyone was here. Were you supposed to play hide? Were we supposed to play hide and go seek? Didn't hear you. My voice stops in my throat. That bastard's terrorist coolness is both infuriating and terrifying. I rack my brain for ways to defuse the situation. I need help. Okay, fine. I need help. I thought the sea spring could cure me somehow. My voice wavers pathetically. Honestly, has never been my strong suit. He cants his head to the side, appraising me, but doesn't respond. I fidget nervously. I'm telling you, I came here for help. Are you listening? Your hands. Alarm jolts through you. I hide my hands under my cloak. Show me. Why? Won't ask twice. With a sharp exhale, I wrankly hold up my bandaged hands. Are you getting off on this? Unwrap them. He rushes to my face and I fire him to my tongue. I should give him a piece of my mind, but not when the souls are one command away from ripping me to shreds. Yet no matter how much I will myself to move, my body stays frozen in place. I stand there for a long, agonizing minute. My hands are trembling when I finally raise them. I know the skin beneath the wrappings are all too well the hideous, unnatural flesh I've grown to despise. I grip the edge of the bandages. Stop. With a weary sigh, the man slides off the beam and lands with a thud that shakes the panels underfoot. He's a monster, tall and posing, with presence that commands the room like gravity. Lantern light sculpts his face in a sharp and forgiving lines. Subtle clinks of metal accompany each of his footsteps. The closer he gets to me, the faster my heart hitches. What does he want? Is he going to kill me? I step backwards and find nothing to set my foot on. I forgot my back was to the C-spring. I fall right before the warm hand catches my lower back. I'm hovering above the C-spring, the scent of smoke and leather enveloping me. Blazing eyes bore into mine. Told you to watch your step. I'm too stunned to muster a response. Like I weigh nothing, he guides me back to solid ground. Following a subtle gesture from his fingers, the souls around us disperse and relax. The shift in their demeanor is so abrupt it gives me a whiplash. The enormous tentacles are no longer in the rafters, though now I doubt I ever saw them at all. Either way, I let out a breath of relief. Thanks. As focused on me as he was before, the monster pays no attention to me now. He kicks some seating pillows out of the walkway, checked the contents of the kettle with a scowl. The sudden discarded is almost insulting. So, that's it? I'm not a threat anymore? Never were one. Then why did you threaten me? People get honest when they're afraid. In other words, he was messing with me. I dragged my hand over my face, exhausted by the fact that this is the second time a monster has provoked me today. You're Ayas, aren't you? Depends on who's asking. One of your friends told me that this was your territory. She also said you were a gang leader. But there's no one else here. I thought there'd be more people. Alice picks up the kettle, walks over to the edge of the C-spring, and dumps the contents in the endless red. They took a walk. His pleasant smile stretches ear to ear. Then in an instant it drops. I get the sense that I shouldn't ask more about that again. He said he came here for help. Depends. Can the C-spring cure a curse? Probably. You mean you don't know? Nope. That's helpful, dude. He shakes out an empty kettle and starts collecting stray cups, tidying up. My frustration builds. I narrow my eyes at him in a questioning glare. When he notices, he returns it with an amused smirk. Are you being irritating on purpose? Listen, Sparrow, the C-spring can cure anything. Nothing's stopping you from trying it yourself. What do I have to do? Drink. I have to drink from the C-spring? My eyes glide into the blood-like pool beside us. The idea of ingesting the liquid makes my gut churn. Is there a price? Always. Ayas taps his temple with a finger. You lose it a little bit. That's it. Might have already beat it to the punch. Kramer earns an amused fang grin. This is a little different. When you drink from the sea spring, you forget who you are. Your mind combines with everyone who drank before. Human, monster, Solus, one big happy family in your head. My blood runs cold. I've heard of these before. Group minds. I thought they were just rumors. I've heard whispers of cults performing rituals to bind their members' minds together. It never seemed possible. But something tells me this is real, even if one of thing doesn't add up. Your eyes are red too, but you obviously haven't forgotten who you are. Before I can finish my sentence, Acid strides past me towards the entrance. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. Oh, my friend Diana. Hi, Diane. Hi, Diana. There's still so many questions burning the tip of my tongue, but frustration spills out before I can ask any of them. I would. Ugh. Watch your tone. I'm nice, but you don't want to ruin the hostess mood. Diane. My skin prickles. The feeling of being washes over me again. My lone ripple. Daggum it. I got distracted seeing like a friend of mine join my stream. Hi! I talked to Ayas' advice and clamped my mouth shut. Ayas approaches a nearby Solus, a lanky dog like one with 6 legs and a crown of tendrils. Several sets of red eyes adorn its sides. Its forked tail wags rapidly when Ayas squats beside it. He runs his fingers through the tendrils, scratch. Dang it! A gentle smile across Ayas' lips. The affection he holds for the Solus is painfully clear. I tip my eyes away, my stomach fluttering at the tender sight. It's getting dark out, so this pretty girl will guide you back. Following a short whistle at Ayas' lips, it trots over to the entrance obediently, tail swaying. I watched Solus warily. Pretty is not a word I would use to describe it. The idea of protecting me sounds absurd. If I decide to drink, how do I find you? Find someone with eyes like mine, they'll point you in the right direction. But think it's over, once you drink, you can't go back. It's a lot to process, but I have a small nod. At least I know I have another option for a cure, just as disturbing as it may be. I follow the Solus and I measure distance and watch the nudge giant doors open and ease. When I open across the threshold, I sneak one last glance behind me. My heart skips and I'm about to snap my head away. But he flashes me an easy smile. Diane. It's like I said Diana. Diane. The brain is tired, girl. Sorry if I missay your name today. Super tired. And I decided this would be fun to stream for a little while. Outside, more Crimsonite Solus scatter about. It's hard to believe it's the same threatening pack from before. They chase each other in circles around in the Bogsmouth. I never saw us play, let alone company with each other. They're usually territorial and hostile. A part of me is almost happy for them. I'm gonna turn that off, so I didn't. I forgot the A. And part of me is almost happy for them. Being alone in this world is a fate I wouldn't wish for my worst enemy, and somehow the Sea Spring has given them a family. But now is not the time to be envious of bloodthirsty creatures. The soulless pay no attention to me as the dog-like one escorts me away. I messaged hi in the chat to my friend. I misspelled her name the first time, which I'm mad at myself for. Dusk darkens the sky. The time to reach the city. The soulless sits, canting its head at me with familiar crimson eyes. I think it wants something. Pet it. I've never encountered a soulless that likes to be pet, but I've never encountered a soulless that escorts people safely back to town either. I slowly reach out to the soulless, letting it sniff my closed fist so I don't startle it. But it just headbutts my knuckles, impatient, demanding I let out a snicker. Okay. I carefully glide my fingers through the soulless tendrils and scratch beneath its chin, just like Ayas had. It pushes into my palm in response, rumbling with a sound akin to a purr. The vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. When it's satisfied, the soulless spins around and scampers back into the direction he came from, vanishing into the darkness. As I just read earlier, I already encountered so many things I thought would be impossible, tame soulless being one of them. My head spins, maybe I should call it a day. Nightfall creeps across the streets of Elder. The city labyrinth, even in the daytime, has become a warren of treacherous alleyways. Oh, it's not autoed anymore. Guys, don't forget to like and comment on here. It helps everything. Oh, I guess she just got off the stream. Okay, I'll hope to see her later. The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought this part of the city was abandoned. My steps slow when I hear rustling in the dark. The heck did you step on my squishy go? I strain my ears, but everything is still in the silence, playing tricks on me. Save. I need to move. I draw my cloak close, and I move forward to the nearest building to disguise my silhouette in the dark. It was quiet, wet sound, the sound of blood, the flesh squelching. Something's out here in the streets with me. A soulless? A monster? I'm not quite sure which direction it came from, but I can say either need to get somewhere safer. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there's only the sound of my own footsteps. I know what I heard. At that moment, as the moments pass and nothing happens, I only grow more intense. I turn to the next corner and the thoughts screaming to a halt. My head spins, the world blurs, and as the adrenaline rushes through my veins, only one thing is clear amongst the haze. A Solus that attacked the caravan. It's crashed over a dark, indistinct shape, a body. A garland of intestine spills from the pallid flesh. Blood grouts the cobblestones. Holding my breath, I take a step back. When the wet, slurping sounds don't abat, I take another, then another. Then a shard of glass crunches under my heel. The world slows to a crawl and the Solus raises its head, blood dripping from its tendrils. Every single one of its bulging eyes fixed unblinking on me. It's really here. It came back for me. Run! What? Why was that an option? I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened streets. The Solus howls its raspy voice, harsh with hunger. The heavy footfalls pound. Dang it. My heart thunders in my chest. I take turns at random, trying to lose the Solus in the maze of streets, but I can't seem to shake it. I can hear its breathing now, a wet, flirty rasp, growing closer and closer. The same claws that severed my arms swiped out. I ducked, saved by pure reflex, and skidded around a corner and only to freeze. A wall twice my high as me bars my way. It's at end. Behind me the Solus looms, an enormous taking up nearly the entire width of the alleyway. Its long claws, tipped limbs, give its advantage of reach. There's no way I can fight that! Try to escape? As the Solus prowls closer, my eyes start from the side to side, looking for escape. The Solus is blocking the obvious way out, but shit, that's what I'm trying. Right behind me, there's a rickety door that must lead into the adjoining building. If I can get inside, the Solus size will hinder any attempt to pursue me. I whirl around, grabbing the handle. It turns completely, and the hinges creaking as I push, and I feel the flash of hope before the weight hits the door from the other side and slams shut. The clicks of lock turning is grimly final. In this wretched world, few people will stick their necks out for people to help their flesh and blood, never mind a stranger. The Solus gives a rasping hiss, the only warning I got before it lunges at me with a flash of claws. I hurl myself to the side, but the slick cobblestone betrays me. I fall sprawling over the rough stone. As the Solus looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill. But the impact never comes. What? I rarely crack one eye open and the other, not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. A hooded figure crouches in front of me, one blood-stained hand outstretched. Moonlight silvers the edges of their silhouette knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood and the soulless. My eyes start past the unexpected rescuer to the misshapen form behind them. The Solus' many eyes, once restless and vibrant, now look dull and waxy. Red pool spreads slowly from under its body. Numb with shock, I can't help but stare. After all the people it's killed, after nearly killing me twice, I can hardly believe it's dead. Well? I gingerly take the offered hand, and the hunter's gaze dips into my bandages. Pale lips part as the brink question, then close again. With a strength belaying the slight frame, then pull me upright. I can feel the tension in their grip. Their fingers tremble like they want to pull away. It's a sensation I'm all too familiar with myself. Despite their obvious discomfort, they pause for a moment, pale eyes sweeping over me. Not going to fall? When I shake my head, they hastily let go and back off, wiping the blood from their face and hands. The hunter turns away from me, the heel of their boot hitting the Solus' gangly body, then lean over to studying it intently. With their back to me, I realize the hooded silhouette is familiar. I saw them outside the Cinnabonium. Still or functional. I'm sorry about my thoughts when they speak, but they aren't looking at me. Can't all be processed in the brain. Its occipital lobes would have to be enormous. In fact, I don't think they're talking to me at all. Yeah, I am pretty sure of that too. Oxy what? They jump like a spooked cat, whirling around the face. I hold my hands up, trying not to startle them further. I didn't think you were still here. So, do you need something? I wanted to thank you. I wanted to thank you. They stare at me, though, their lips apart. They seem to struggle to figure out what to say. No, not used to hearing that. The hint of uncertainty almost vanishes under their scowl. Almost. We shouldn't need any help to begin with. What are you thinking, traveling alone at night? This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. I can't make heads or tails of them. First they save me and now they scold me. Lesson learned. I could do without the lecture, though. To my surprise, they break eye contact, and the frown their disapproval doesn't seem to direct it at me. If you're not going to run off screaming, you might as well wait until I'm done. Their attention glides back to the soulless corpse. They examine it with inscrutable expression. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm Melissa. Mm-hmm. Oh, Mihin. Suddenly Mihin tenses, their blade flashes as they dive it back into the soulless's neck. The soulless thrashes once, lets out a rattling hiss, air leaves its lungs. Mihin leaves the blade, driving it deeper and deeper until there's sickening crunch and the creature goes limp. God, I heard that crunch. Ugh. My heart thuds in the chest. I must have been clinging to life by a thread. Mihin straightens up, withdrawing their blade from the single smooth motion. Better up and wretched things like this out of its misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. I swallow, my eyes still glued to the cooling corpse. Why is the soulless inside the city? Why is the soulless inside the city? Why am I repeating myself? Mihin looks at me, eyes searching before realization dawns. You're new here. There's no walls around the city. Soulless can come and go as they please until someone is contracted to stop them. The Sims patrols don't bother to protect Lowtown, not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of the Cenobium? I wouldn't go that far. Either way, it looks like I owe you. Our brother furrows, they sheath their knife, motioning for me to follow. It's not safe here. The vultures can smell death. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but they don't want to stay lost in the city. I trail behind them as they stride down the street. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping me? I came for the bounty on the soulless, and you were in the way. Fair? I'm not killing you. Isn't that the same as helping you? Don't count on being so lucky again, or you'll be dead by sunrise. Their answer is stingingly harsh. I just need help to find my lodgings. I hold my hands up, trying to forestall any snippy comments. Alright, I get it. I'd love to get out of your way, but I'm sort of lost. I just need directions back to my lodgings. They bury furrow slightly. They open their mouth, and for a moment I could swear they looked regretful. They sigh and shake their head. It's too dangerous at this hour. I'll take you wherever you're staying. I wasn't expecting to get direction. I wasn't expecting to get directions given their attitude. When they realize I'm staring, they look at me with a huff. I'll be faster that way. That's all. I have a room at the Wet Wick. At the name of man's face falls. That gaudy cesspit. Not a fan? It's full of drunks and idiots. What do you think? True, it doesn't seem like their kind of place. Well, that's where I'm staying. Are you taking me back? Are you taking back your offer? Mayhem exhales sharply and shakes their head. This way. Min's completely different from my slow early morning mentoring. Their steps are swift and sure, even though it's all streets blurred together in the dark. You know the city pretty well. I grew up here. I think that's the first thing you've told me voluntarily since we met. Was it always like this? Wanderers dragging along the dingy roads. I struggled to decipher his expression. Regret? No, Irida was never perfect, but it used to be a place worth living in. I can't make heads or tails of Mihin's answer. Irida is the last bastion of humanity in the wasteland. Where else is worth living? The Wet Wick's not much farther now. In no time at all, shadowy alleys, slow down, brightly lit adventures, crowds of lively people. It's as if half the city has poured into Armstill's district. Colorful streets, laughter, clinking glasses, and music assault my ears from fear. Most of the noise comes from the Wet Wick, its doors hanging wide open, bright lanterns frame tall and familiar figure. Melissa? And Mihin, I see. It's hard to say which of us is more surprised. You know each other? Mihin is a freelancer who has done a few errands for me. They are quite reliable. Though I can't say I remember you even escorting travelers. Melissa nearly walked into the jaws of a Solus. I thought bringing her here would be less trouble. If you're staying here, I take it Lunder was able to help you. As it happens, I also headed in that direction, shall we? Oh, fine. He still owes me for yesterday's work. Mihin drags their feet, reluctantly trailing me into the tavern. Okay. I think this is where I'm going to leave it here, guys. Because it's almost 9 o'clock at night for me. I've got stuff to do soon. I hope everyone enjoyed watching. And by the time you guys are probably seeing it, it's probably close to 9 for you guys at your points or whatever, whenever everyone's watching. I'm delayed. That's how my stream tends to be. I've been going for about 2 hours now, but if you guys enjoy, like, comment, and subscribe to all my channels from TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, guys. Everything helps, comments, it helps the algorithm. And if you want to see more of me live streaming, check me out. I usually live stream through the week, or even on the weekends when I have time. And I upload all the streams daily, to my channel, so do check it out. It's always fun. And like always, I'll see everyone next time around. Bye-bye!